Call this meeting to order. We have roll call. We show every council member present except for Mayor Leach, and he's been excused tonight. We'll have the invocation by Councilman Alsop and the Pledge of Allegiance by Councilman Hatch. Those who would like to participate, please stand.
Lord Heavenly Father, we thank you for everything you've been doing for the city of Shola. We just thank you for the great weather we've had, the monsoon weather, the rain. We just thank you for everything being green and filled up. And we just thank you now for the changing of the seasons where the colors are coming in. Makes this town just look beautiful. So we just thank you for everything you've done for us. And we just ask you to be with each one of us tonight as we deliberate on everything that's on the council agenda. And we just ask you to bless each one of us in your precious name. Amen.
Amen. Please join me in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, welcome everyone. Appreciate you being here tonight, and we welcome those that are viewing via telecommunications. Next item on the agenda is call to the public. Any citizen desiring to speak on a matter that is within the jurisdiction of the city council may do so at this time. Comments may be limited to 3 minutes per person, and they need to be addressed to the city council as whole and not any individual member. At this time, I have a request to speak by Doug Roberts. If you would come forward, please.
I am Doug Roberts. I'm a resident of the city, live over on 36th Drive. I participate with the Run to the Pines car show, and we are grateful to the city for their assistance. We run a cavalcade parade out of the LDS Church parking lot on the corner across from the Victorian House, and we will be doing that on this coming Friday. That's prior to the car show, which is on Saturday down in Pine Top. So we always do the cavalcade on Friday, and then we do the car show on Saturday and Sunday. But we usually have between 350 and 400 cars that show up for this cavalcade. There's no registration required. All we ask is that it be a special interest car. Everybody has a good time. We've never had any problems. Shola PD is very helpful to us in helping us to get the cars out of the parking lot. We're grateful to the church for allowing us to stage it in the parking lot. Years ago, we used to do it in the parking lot where D&D Furniture and then Cal Ranch were. It was always chaos. And now that we've been able to put it in the church parking lot, thanks to the local leadership, it's been very organized and goes very well. We have help from some outside organizations. We've got the Bikers Against Child Abuse, the BACA group, is helping us to control the traffic coming in and out of the parking lot this year. And they helped us last year, and we appreciate them and all that they do. But my reason for being here tonight is to remind everybody that that's coming up on Friday. And oftentimes we see people put up their pop-ups in their chairs and tape off their places to watch. Typically in the past, as we leave the church parking lot and go the 16 miles down to the casino, there are very few, if any, open spaces along the way. It's popular enough that everybody gets out and watches all the cars as they go by. This event, the Run to the Pines car show, we have 600 participants actually on the field, because that's all the field would hold. It would be much larger if the field held more, but we get lots of entries every year. Usually we have to turn back 300 or 400 every year. It fills up the hotels, fills up the restaurants. The economic boost to the area can't be minimized. It's can't be stressed enough. And all of the proceeds from the show go to our local charities. Everything here gets divvied up and it's designated. Some goes to the Humane Society, some goes to the shelters, some goes to the what used to be the Love Kitchen. You know, we do all kinds of donations to various domestic abuse organizations, all kinds of charitable organizations. But everything that, all the proceeds out of that show go to charity. And it all stays here on the mountain. It doesn't go to any national organizations. It all stays here. So we appreciate your support. We want to thank you for your support. And we just want to ask you to continue to support. And that'll be this coming Friday for the cavalcade and Saturday and Sunday for the show.
4 o'clock, right?
Everybody will show up. The cars will start showing up on Friday in the parking lot at 2 o'clock. So they'll be there in the parking lot from 2 to 4, and people can come by. If they want to wander around and take a look at the cars there, they can do that between 2 and 4. But 4 o'clock on the dot, Show PD is taking us out of the parking lot. And it usually takes us only about 40 minutes, 30 to 40 minutes to empty that parking lot. And then we're on the way. So, are there any other questions? Thank you for your support.
Thank you.
Mr. Roberts?
Thank you.
Is there any other individual that would like to come forward on call to the public? Seeing no one move forward, we'll move on to special events. Tonight we have the pleasure of having Mr. Nick Lund here to give us an update on the White Mountain Tracks Trail System.
Good evening. Years ago, I was fortunate enough to serve on an economic development committee for the city of Show Low. And the number one priority out of that extensive deliberation was to use our natural resources up here to attract tourism and to help our economy. Well, our White Mountain Trail System, the non-motorized trail system, is over 200 miles of trails. It's rated by Arizona State Parks and Trails as one of the premier trail systems in the state of Arizona. About 7 months ago, I agreed to be a Google local guide, and that means you describe the things that are in your region. And one of the things that I noticed is that our White Mountain Trail System was not on Google Maps. So I contacted them, applied the information, they agreed. And this morning I got an email that said that our White Mountain Trail System has had, in that short period of time, over 200,000 hits. Think about that for a second. When 6 or 7 months, we've had over 200,000 hits. We have brochures that we hand out. Over the past 4 years, we gave out over 70,000 of those brochures. One of the things that we developed is a joint map, and these are available at the Forest Service office and Chamber of Commerce, et cetera. This is a map that's one of the first in the state of Arizona that is a joint map of both the motorized and non-motorized trail systems in this region. So I encourage you to get a copy of that. It's very handy to have. Many years ago, I talked to the head of the Navajo County Sheriff's Auxiliary. What do you do when you get a call out on a trail system, somebody in trouble? He said, Nick, it's a huge problem because with a 200-mile trail system, often the person that's in trouble will forget the name of the trail they're on because they're traumatized. And so he said, I have to send out multiple officers, and it takes literally hours just to find them on a 200-mile trail system. So we put up with a grant from Arizona Game and Fish, white reflective diamonds every quarter mile on the entire 200-mile trail system. We put a simple code on that would be remembered by the casual hiker or user. And we recorded the GPS coordinates of all that. I went around and met with all the regional emergency responders, the police, the fire, the helicopters out of the hospital, et cetera. Since that time, since we completed that project, All the rescues have been 45 minutes or less with one responding officer, which not only helps the people that are out there, but it helps our emergency response system. When Casey Clark was our Navajo County Sheriff, cornered me one time and said, "You can't believe how much money that saved our response program." So, TRAX is the only group that's authorized by the Forest Service to build and maintain the White Mountain Trail System. WMOTA is the White Mountain Open Trails Association. They're the ones who are responsible for the motorized trail system. We even meet with them periodically to make sure that we're not crossing trails or putting people in danger or anything like that. One of the things that we noticed, there's a lot of cattle grazing around here. And so with a 200-mile trail system, often people will forget to close the gate. And then the Forest Service and yours truly gets a call from a rancher that uses certain expletives about the fact that his cattle are wandering out and they shouldn't be. So we put in a grant. I wrote it to Arizona State Parks and Trails. There you go. You can see this. That's called a ramp gate. And you install those next to an existing gate. So the grant is a little over $59,000 to provide 43 of these ramp gates to be installed on our trail system. And that will enable hikers and mountain bikers to cross the fence line without having to open and close the gate. Your equestrians still have to open and close the gate. Sorry about that, but there's no way around that. One of the things that I didn't realize until recently is that these ramp gates actually are a way to encourage the physically handicapped mountain biker to use the trail system, because then they don't have to get off of their adaptive mountain bike in order to open and close the gate. So it not only keeps the cattle more secure, it enables your hikers and mountain bikers to cross the fence line, but it also assists the physically challenged athlete. Another trail that's actually on private land is the Show Low Bluff Trail. And you know that Ed Mooter and I worked together to get Show Low Bluff to provide that as an easement to the city so that it's a community trail, not just a Show Low Bluff Trail. Very popular. That parking lot down there is busy all the time. The builder of our house, Jim Sutherland, is the one that built that barn down there, which serves the community really well. The first white diamond that we put up on that emergency responder is on Show Low Bluff. It's SL1. And so we feel like that was an important move. One of the things that you find right now is that mountain biking is the most rapidly growing sport in the high schools in Arizona. When they have a statewide event, it's usually 750 to 1,000 riders, plus all the support people that come along with them, their moms, their relatives, their interests, et cetera, et cetera. So one of the things that they would really like to have is a mountain course for the mountain bike. And so one of the things that you've done is to help support the possibility of a race course for them that would be north of Show Low. It would be a 5-mile inner loop and an 8-mile outer loop if it gets approved. And that would be a huge economic impact. It would be part of the White Mountain Trail system. There's even a possibility that if they approved it, that TRAX would build a trail from Fool Hollow over to this course, which would be east of Fool Hollow. State parks would have to approve us doing that. But if that was, then people could camp in Fool Hollow and just come over to the course. the motorized system around here would like to have a trailhead close to Sholo. We said, why not join with us and help develop that course? So Jerry Smith, the associate mayor of Pinetop Lakeside, is very much involved in moving that one along. We could even use the Sholo High School as overflow parking for an event like that. So hopefully that's something that is going to happen. One of the things that the hospital started up here years ago was the Tour of the White Mountains, annual mountain bike event. The riders can choose rides of 9, 35, or 50 miles on our trail system, or a 30-mile forest road ride. This year, the registration just closed at 1,500 mountain bikers. So it's an enormous event. It's a clean industry. Even the head of Epic Rides, Todd Sadow, tells the riders, if we catch you littering, we're going to disqualify you. So don't throw your packets on the ground or anything like that. And then Epic Tracks goes out and pin flags the routes, serves at the aid stations, et cetera. We supply usually 80 to 85% of all the volunteers for the event. And then Epic makes a real nice donation to Tracks at our nonprofit in order to help support the trail system. So that's what I've got to share with you guys. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you might have. And you've probably heard my voice enough. Anything? Thank you for your time.
Thank you for all your work.
I've enjoyed those trail systems a lot over the years, the last 15 years riding them. I've wrecked quite a few times on them.
Okay, the next item on our agenda is consent calendar. We have proclamation by the mayor proclaiming October 2022 as Domestic Violence Awareness Month, consideration of approval of amended final plat for Torion Centre, consideration of acceptance of additional grant funding from the Arizona State Parks for the inclusive playground and splash pad. We thank them for that. Consideration of minutes for the Sholo City Council meeting of September 6, 2022. Is there anybody that would like an item removed? Do we have a motion then for approval?
I'll move to approve the consent calendar as presented.
Councilman Adams. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Thank you. And at this time, we'll have City Clerk Rachel Hall read the proclamation.
Thank you, Vice Mayor and Council. Whereas domestic violence is a pervasive problem that affects women, men, and children of every age, race, gender, background, and belief, with 1 in 4 women and 1 in 10 men in Arizona suffering physical violence in their lifetimes. And whereas 1 or more children witness domestic violence every 44 minutes in Arizona. And whereas every minute, 24 people are victims of physical violence by an intimate partner in the United States. And whereas the United States Congress has designated October as National Domestic Violence Awareness Month every year since 1989. And whereas Domestic Violence Awareness Month reaffirms our dedication to forge a community where no one suffers the hurt and hardship that domestic violence causes. And we recommit to doing everything in our power to uphold the basic human right to be free from violence and abuse. And whereas in honor of Arizona's 8th annual Lighting Arizona Purple campaign, Sholo's downtown streets will be lit purple throughout the month of October to raise awareness about domestic violence. And whereas we must remain united in our commitment to safeguard and open the doors of opportunity for every member of our community and support local efforts to assist victims of these crimes in finding the help and healing they need. Now, therefore, Connie Kakavas, Vice Mayor, on behalf of the Sholo City Council, does proclaim the month of October 2022 as Domestic Violence Awareness Month in the city of Sholo, and does hereby urges citizens to pledge their unwavering support to those in need and recognize the advocates, victim service providers, and organizations who work tirelessly to extend hope and healing to survivors and victims every day. Thank you.
The next item on our agenda is new business, and that's We have an item, consideration of award of contract for city entry signage, City of Shola, project number FM-2321, and authorization of the associated budget transfers. Mr. Cupp.
Thank you, Vice Mayor and Council. On June 1, 2021, the City Council awarded a contract for upgrading and adding highway signs at 5 locations on Arizona Department of Transportation highways and also a 6th location on Penrod Road to Floresco Services LLC in an amount not to exceed $313,020. Subsequent to the award of the contract, Council also approved a change order in an amount of $11,728.80. This brought the total contract amount to $324,748.80. However, due to material price increases, supply chain and staffing issues, Floresco formally requested that their contract be terminated. The City Council terminated Floresco's contract on June 21, 2022. Upon termination of the agreement with Floresco, staff contacted the second low bidder, Allegra, a local company. Allegra has agreed to honor their original base bid of $345,960, tax included. The original bid included cultured stone veneer, and it's tough to see on this rendering. It was the cultured stone veneer on the columns and also standalone solar panels that would have solar panels and batteries on a remote stand about 20 feet away from the sign. Staff also received quotes for some desired upgrades. These upgrades included real Malapai stone on the columns and self-contained solar equipment where the solar panels would be concealed within the sign structure. This solar equipment upgrade would also require a larger top arch to house the solar panels, and there were other structural strengthening elements in the design to accommodate that. The cost for the requested upgrades are as follows. Malapai rock on the columns for 6 signs. The total cost is $32,756.82. For the solar panels on the top of the arch for all 6 signs, the total cost was $98,736.13. With the inclusion of the requested upgrades, the total project cost would be $477,452.95. And before I get to the staff recommendation, I think it's been quite a while. We did show you folks these locations a year and a half ago, but I just want to go back over those with you so you know where we're talking about. The first location is Highway 60 northbound, just south of Summer Pines. So that's coming into town from the Globe direction. Just after you pass the Summer Pines project, it becomes City of Shola. The next one is on, it says Deuce Clubs, Highway 60 coming into town from the Springerville direction. And this would be located across the street from the racetrack. The third location is Highway 77 at the current sign location. So this is coming in from the north from Taylor. There is an existing sign. It's right, you see here at the bottom right. That's the end of the airport runway. The next one is Highway 260, just west of Smith Ranch Road. So the Whispering Trail subdivision is here. Smith Ranch Road is here. And also Smith Ranch Road, where it goes up to 43rd, is located there. And then the last location is Penrod Road. So if you're running out Penrod Road, you're heading south, and then the road starts to curve. City limits is right in that curve. Oh, I'm sorry, there's one more. This is White Mountain Road, northbound. So you're coming in from Pine Top. This is the Home Depot. This is the Lowe's. So it's in approximate location here. Now, the actual final locations of these are going to be determined between staff, the contractor, and ADOT, because there are some areas that may be more desirable. The grades might work better. So those are the general locations of those signs. With that, I will say that staff recommends awarding the contract for city entry signage, City of Show project number FM 2321 to Allegra, an amount not to exceed $477,452.95, and authorizing the associated budget transfers. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Council have any comments or questions? Councilman also.
Mr. Cup, when Fresco was awarded the first for the signage, did they put any signs up or no?
No.
So everything that we voted on for them is definitely gone.
And the work product that they produce, like this drawing that you're seeing right here, they let us keep all their design work, which we handed to Allegra to get them a starting point for the project.
So we're kind of using a little bit of that design work. Okay.
Yeah, and that design work was no charge. They just handed it over to us.
Okay. Thank you.
Councilman Adams.
How soon will they be able to start this project?
We can award we'll award the project tomorrow. We'll get the notice of award. We'll set up a pre-construction conference. I think there's going to be some material lead times. We could come back to council with a better idea after we talk to Allegra about the lead times. Some of the fabrication is going to take some time. Some of the materials may be a little bit difficult to source. I think it would be best if we went ahead and awarded the contract with council's approval. And then we can set up a meeting with Allegra and get some real schedule numbers for you.
We'll report back in the memo on Friday, this Friday or next Friday, when they're going to start and what their time frame is.
I think we're just going to see the price continuing to go up with materials. So
That seems to be the trend.
yeah. Any other comments or questions?
Just one more quick.
Sure.
There's this sign coming into town by the downtown across from Circle K. It's a little different than that one. This won't be quite the same. Is that correct?
That's kind of the theme, though. That's really a prototype for these, so it's going to be modeled more or less after. It's going to have that arch element and the malapai stone on the side, so it's very close. Dimensionally, it might be a little bit different because we actually retrofitted. We kind of upgraded that existing sign, but those upgrades were meant to create a prototype for the rest of this.
And that sign was actually upgraded by Allegra.
Oh, it was. Okay.
Any other comments or questions? I have a motion. I'll make a motion. I move to award the contract for city entry signage, City of Show project number FM 2321 to Allegra in amount not to exceed $477,452.95 and authorize the associated budget transfers. Seconded by Councilman Adams. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Next item on the agenda is summary of current events. We'll start with Councilman Hatch. Do you have any?
Not tonight, thank you.
I don't have anything tonight.
Councilman Alsop.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I went through the Farmers Market Art Walk. I think that was probably their last Saturday, or they got one more left? Maybe one more left. So a lot of people, they're still turning out. So encourage you to get out and look and see what's going on out there because it's going to end here real quickly. Second thing is, I think a lot of the council members here has been to some football games. So if you'd like to get out and watch your high school football or junior high or freshman or whatever you want, they're out there. They're having a great time. They're playing good ball. Enjoy having you clap for them, yell for them, horn, whatever you want to do. Basketball season is going to be starting up after that, and track, and then baseball. So there's a lot of stuff going on up here in the mountains. So take care and have fun with the kids and enjoy watching them.
Thank you. City Manager.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Just note that voter registration for the upcoming November 8th general election ends Tuesday, October 11th. So there's a couple weeks left on that. For those who need to register or re-register due to the change of address or a name change, voter registration forms are available at City Hall. Navajo County will begin mailing early ballots on Wednesday, October 12th. And anyone wishing to receive an early ballot should call Navajo County at 800-668-3682 3867, no later than Friday, October 28th. And then just to report on some of our public work projects, the city's contractor continues to work on the citywide paving and sidewalk connectivity project. They're scheduled to pave next week on Cooley and 25th. Work continues on the McNeil Acres Sewer project, with the contractor working on Stratton towards 8th Street. And the delivery of the playground equipment and splash pad equipment has happened over at Frontier Park, and that the contractor will be installing that in the next few weeks. ADOT resumed paving on White Mountain Road and will restarted the concrete work on the sidewalks on the east side of White Mountain Road. And as always, there's a lot of construction going around town, but we appreciate everyone's patience as these projects are completed. Thank you.
Okay, next item is scheduling of meetings. Does anybody have any meetings they need to be scheduled?
Just a couple of reminders. Next council meeting on October 4th, we've scheduled interviews for Planning and Zoning Commissioner, and those will start at 6:15. And then on October 19th, just a reminder that our council retreat will be held that day at the Darren Reed room over at the Public Safety Building.
When does that start?
9 a.m.
Seeing no further items on the agenda, I will adjourn this meeting.